That's
My
all that
little
matters.
Veritas, my little
Yeah.
Veritas.
So everybody was surprised that Victor just immediately stabbed this zombie. And
Well, I mean, maybe we're surprised mechanically, but are we actually surprised?
It happened very suddenly.
because you all were dealing with this genie situation when the door opened.
Yeah.
So your back is to the door and you're not paying attention. So yeah, Victor, you have your next turn now that nobody's surprised anymore.
So the ghost was surprised on the first turn.
Oh yeah, everybody but you, because you're the only person who knew there was going to be a fight.
I asked if they were surprised, and you said no.
He said, "Yeah."
No, everybody was surprised.
Yeah,
I went down the whole
he said
list.
Then I should have got my sneak attack damage.
Sneak attack doesn't apply on a surprise target. You have to have advantage, or they got to be within 5 feet of an ally. Neither of which was true.
Now, if you don't move, you can use steady aim, and then you'll get sneak attack.
Well,
Unless
I'm
you're
ready
an
this time.
assassin.
Is that how the assassin class feature works? If
They get advantage on surprised enemies.
they get advantage
Us?
on surprise enemies, and it's an automatic critical hit if that target has not taken their action yet, or something like that.
Also, I think there's a line in there that says this class feature is disabled if you have a bard in the party.
Right. All right. So yeah, Victor, it's your turn again.
Okay.
Also, I think the spaces are a little hard to read inside the card, but I think tactically Eevee is in the space next to this one.
I had Evie in this space. That's how I was reading the situation.
That's how I
Yeah,
read
because you were next to Genie.
All right. Yeah, Victor, stab him again.
So, yeah, okay. So steady aim this time so I get my sneak attack damage.
That'll do it.
Yeah, I thought surprise gave advantage for some reason.
Nope. All surprise means is that they don't move or act on their turn.
Well, how does a 25 do?
That'll hit.
Now can I roll my sneak attack?
Yeah, absolutely. You gave yourself advantage.
All right, that'll be 23.
Okay, and that one is very dead.
On the alignment.
Moving
I'm
or
gonna
staying
make
put?
that a thing.
He's staying put.
Okay, who's next?
We've got Eevee with zombies on deck.
I mean, can I even see the other one?
You know he's in there. Like, yeah, you can
Oh.
look in the next car and see him there.
I mean, Victor, you're putting me in a very awkward situation right now. Because now my only options are to go out here and stab this man, or to wait for him to come in here and breathe poison on all of us.
You could shut the door.
I
Well,
have
he's-
6 strength. I can't hold the door shut.
He may not open it if it's shut.
Well, you don't have time to sit here and talk about it.
5, 10. I guess I'm in his threat range.
Yep.
Okay, if I open the door. Does it look like he's gonna fight?
Oh, absolutely, because he just watched Victor stab his friend.
All right. I guess we're fighting then. I say sorry. Nothing personal. Then stab.
Okay.
And that's a. Does an 8 hit?
8 does hit.
Okay. I cannot do sneak attack though.
Zombies are crap, dude.
I do a lot of damage.
They can.
He takes a whole 5 damage.
Okay.
My favorite thing to do when I'm DMing is to take zombies and put them in full plate. That's hilarious.
It's pretty funny. Moving or staying put?
Who's next in initiative? Okay. I guess I'll give.
The ghost is next.
Oh no, I can't see Orson, so I can't give him advantage.
No, you can't see Orson or Ekon for your position.
I'm next anyway.
All right, I guess that's just the end of my turn. Wait, are you gonna make an attack roll, Genie?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, then I'll give you advantage.
Okay. Genie, you're currently laying prone.
Okay.
We've got a zombie with Genie on deck.
Okay. He's going to leave your threat range, Evie.
I guess I'll take the shot. Why not? Is he now considered adjacent to Victor?
No, because he's
No,
like,
because he's still here when you make your attack.
Okay, well, I guess I should roll it. Let's see if I hit first, even though it'd be very hard for me to miss. Yeah, that hits.
Okay.
I rolled more than 8, and I do
Yeah, you only need 8. They're not wearing full plate. They're not Treble's BS zombies.
5 more damage.
Okay. It is
So
bloodied.
It was so funny, Brick Road. It was great.
I need Ekon, Orson, Genie, and Victor to make Constitution saving throws, please. DC is 12.
Nah.
That's
It's a fail.
11.
So that's 11 points of poison damage, which you can cut in half if you pass the save. As he takes a deep drag on his cigar, breathes it into the room, and this cloud fills up most of the compartment, stopping just shy of where Edmont is perched on the edge of this seat.
Excuse me, Ekon. Go ahead and take a +4 to that.
Okay, pass.
Hey, and that's it for the zombie.
All right. Jeannie's going to stand up. And she is going to firebolt. That is a 20 to hit.
That'll hit.
Uh, 22 fire damage.
That's enough. The thing loses its constitution and parts of it clatter splatteringly to the ground. It lurches forward. As it does, grabs hold of Victor's clothes, pulls its face in close, and says, "Nowhere to run. Nowhere to hide. No escape for you." And then finishes dying.
Victor, that thing didn't seem to be aggressive until you stabbed it.
Are we in the same world here? Everything's aggressive.
I mean, the other one didn't attack until Jeannie attacked her
Right?
self-image.
Okay, so rule 1. Don't
Stab
acknowledge
people. Don't attack their self-image.
don't acknowledge they're dead. Don't attack first.
How about we just don't say anything to them?
Well,
Why
I
don't we
mean,
just
ignoring
act like
them,
zombies?
ignoring them might also trigger it. So, just don't speak unless spoken to. So, are we going through? Are we going to go back or forward?
What you tell us what just happened there, Jeannie.
I did.
Well, you didn't have time
Okay.
yet. You were in the
Arts-
process of starting to explain it when they opened the door and it interrupted you.
mean-
Edmont, when Genie says no speaking unless spoken to, Edmont just says the just in the back of his head, he's like, the audacity of this bitch.
You have something to say? I got.
What do you
No,
want to do?
I'm
Want to
good.
keep going through the train?
Well, we have very little choice at this point.
Okay, listen. Fair warning. There's a woman and a child up ahead, and the child is probably going to speak to one of us. So get ready to burn something.
Be polite. Let's not murder children. I know that the bar has fallen a lot since we've gotten here, but I'd like to think we are not at the child murdering phase of our careers yet.
I hope you're right.
Victor,
Just talk to them like they're a child.
Jeannie is going to grab Victor and just by the shoulder, and she's going to move him here. Edmont, can you please go first? You're the most polite of all of us.
Yeah, that's probably true.
It's the sunglasses that makes him exceptionally cool and suave.
Edmont side-eyes out the window at the huge full moon and is just like, right, polite.
Yeah, opening the panel door, looking in. They're the dead mother and her 2 dead children, a boy and a girl. As you enter the room, somewhat excitedly, the 2 children looking out, and the girl points again. "Mommy, who are they?" You can tell that the mom is trying to shush her. She's trying to pay you no mind. But as you approach, Edmont, you're not bearing any weapons or anything, right?
No.
Okay. What about Jeannie?
I mean, Jeannie is not currently armed. She's got a dagger in her waist and a She has her arcane firearm in its holster.
So you're wearing your gun. You're wearing a sidearm.
Yeah, well, it's not a real gun, but yeah, my fake, stupid artificer bullshit gun.
Okay. The boy excitedly points at the gun. Says, "Oh boy, look at that. Are you a gunman?" My uncle said he was going to teach us how to shoot, but then we had to leave the city very quickly.
Hmm?
He lives out in the country. We're going there to stay with him for a while.
I'm like making a continue on gesture to Edmont while nodding to the child, not saying anything.
And the dead woman, for her part, she's trying to shush the child. Like, don't bother them. Edmont, you are standing now in front of the panel door.
I had it open.
Opening it up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And looking out, you see a familiar scene, about 10 or 15 feet of connecting walkway between this carriage and the next one.
Cross over. Go through.
Okay. Bear with me just one moment. Okay, I have to save this map. Oh, which one am I on? If I save the wrong one, I'm on this one. Okay, that's number
Wait,
one.
before you save it?
Yeah.
Before you save it? I am putting an A there.
Okay.
Now I'll put an A on wherever we end up on the other side.
Yeah, because this is map number 1. We can overwrite that safely. And now I load this in. On map number 2.
You just had to make this complicated, didn't you?
Yeah, it's me that made it complicated. This is all my fault.
You
Yep.
made the dungeon.
Destil is not at any point to blame for this.
Yeah, I just wanted on record this is not my fault. Oh my goodness.
Edmont, opening the next panel door and looking into the next room, the first thing you notice is that the floor here is made of metal plates welded and bolted into place. There are no seats, no windows in this car, just what looks like rows and rows of guns. Each one has a small, again, it looked at one point like it might have been a cushioned chair, but instead of a place to relax, this one looks like a place to sit and operate this cannon. On top of each of the guns is a bronze tube with glass affixed at either end that looks through a scope. And in front of the gun, each one is poking out through a window in the side of the carriage. And you come in right here. And as you step in from around the corner, a dead man makes himself known, peering around. A slender male, as far as you can tell. Determining age would be impossible because of the advanced stage of decomposition. But he calls out, "I'm almost done polishing these guns. Have you brought new orders from the commander?"
Edmont shakes his head and says no. We're passengers, I suppose. We're having a look around.
And as you speak to the dead man, the words you say are not words you've ever said before or understood. You're conveying ideas in language, but the language coming out of your mouth is neither Darkanese nor Ferniscan. You do not recognize it. Nonetheless, you can understand it.
And that's my response, though.
Okay?
Genie walks in the room, lets out an audible gasp, and starts fiddling with the nearest cannon.
And
Genie, stop.
so when you say fiddle with the cannon, like, are you hopping in the seat? And
No, I am crouched down.
Genie, please don't.
I'm not
Victor is going.
touch.
Victor is going to hop in the seat.
You said fiddle. Victor,
I know.
no.
And as Jeannie and Victor start turning their attention to the guns, the man steps forward, gingerly a couple of paces, and holding out his hands. In one hand, you see he's holding a badly soiled rag. Now, wait a minute. You're not to touch those. Who are you? Name your station and rank. Whose command are you under?
Victor will glance at Evie. Well, name your rank.
Duchess.
Duchess of where? Who are you?
Duchess of New Orin.
Are these your men and women? You must tell them to stand down. They're not to touch this equipment.
All of you stop touching the equipment.
Did Jeannie and Victor stop touching the equipment?
All right. Victor will take a glance through the eyepiece before he hops off.
Looking through the eyepiece, you can't see much of the countryside as the outside of the window. It's not really a window, just a porthole just big enough for this gun to slide through. But looking through the eyepiece, there's definitely magic involved, because the lens is pointed directly at the wall of the cart. But nonetheless, you have a fairly clear view of the countryside speeding by, as though you were looking through a clear glass pane in the side of the carriage.
The hell? Victor will glance at Jeannie.
Jeannie will rapidly. She gets up, and she'll go, "Hey, can you tell me more about these guns?"
Well, I don't think I should, and you can tell that he's looking over your shoulder, watching Victor very intently. In fact, I think I'd better call this in. And he turns to move away from you.
Right.
Evie is vainly tugging at Victor with her 6 string.
Yeah, Victor gets off.
Do you let the guy go, Jeannie?
Yeah.
Okay. He walks over into this corner, and you see he starts playing with a mechanism on the wall.
I follow him and I'm just watching.
He pulls what looks like a metal cup on the wall attached to a bit of coiled wire, and he speaks into it. So we have visitors in the forward gun car. I don't recognize them. The Duchess of what? Where are you from?
New Warren.
It's not a house I recognize.
Our house. Well, we're House Veritas.
Again, not a house I recognize. I believe I need reinforcements quickly.
So,
No,
question,
don't do
that
that.
won't be necessary.
Please don't.
And at this point, he takes the metal cup and he puts it back up near the mechanism where it hangs on a small hook.
I'm going to reach out and poke the metal cup. So how does that work?
Please, don't. You're not to touch the equipment.
Victor sighs and leans up against the gun with his hands.
Do you have some, I don't know, manuals or anything?
This is heavily classified artillery. You're not to touch any of this. I can't answer your questions. I don't even know who you are.
What does this button do? Are there buttons on the cannons, or?
There are levers and buttons and all sorts of controls.
Victor says, "What does this button do?" And he pushes it.
So you depress one of the buttons, and the chair that you're sitting in slides all the way down to the floor. Please, sir, don't. It turns back to Evie. You must tell them, command them, stand down. They're not to touch this equipment. It's very dangerous.
Call off
Evie's
your
just doing
reinforcements. Tell your friends to stand down, and we'll stop.
Victor,
pulls the lever.
Victor, you don't know. You don't know what that button is going to do. You could have blown us all up.
What are Edmont and Ekon doing in the back of the cart?
Edmont is just watching Victor and Jeannie act like children. He's just he's got his head in his hand, and he's just like, we're going to die on this contraption, and it's because of foolish people.
Ekon's
fair-
mostly watching the rear door, waiting for these reinforcements to show up. He doesn't think this is going to be good.
To be fair, Jeannie is technically a child. I mean, she's only 18.
That's an adult.
That's a child. I don't care. Listen,
Listen, none of our brains are fully formed until we're 25, so we're all.
Even in our world, 18 is considered an adult.
18 is considered you can join the army and go die. You
Yeah,
can't,
it's
you can't even buy
a-
cigarettes at 18 anymore.
Okay, so Evie says, okay, both of you get behind me. No more touching. We're gonna straighten things out with this gentleman. Go on. Mommy's talking.
I'm sorry, we were looking for the dining car. Is that ahead or behind?
Right, we were actually were. I remember that we were directed to go to the dining car by the train.
You need directions to the dining car. Well, yes, I can help you. You're very far away.
See,
In fact, I'm not sure how you must have gotten past the checkpoint.
Well, we left what was it? I guess it was a.
those
Well,
are
we're very
passenger-
important. So if you could just tell us how to get to that car.
He nods, and he points to the door that you came through, and says, "The dining car is," and then his mouth forms words, but all you hear is a rumble of static. So you see, you just pass back through the officer's carriage that you came through.
Hmm?
He's
Well,
given
what-
you directions, but the directions issued forth from his mouth as a hiss of static.
Did you say this door here? Victor will open this door.
You open the door, and it's a familiar sight out the back of the door. There's about a 15-foot walkway connecting to the next carriage. And as you open it, the man reaches down to where he has a saber hanging off of his belt. "Please, sir, if you persist, I will have to use force."
Victor, just let it go, okay?
So
You don't,
yeah,
you don't have to start a fight with everyone we come across.
Why don't we go back the way we came and then just see if? Because I'm starting to get a sneaking suspicion that something is going to happen if we try to go back the way we came. Well, let's try that first.
Yeah, Ekon will open the door and hop across.
Okay? And I'm going to save this map now.
Did anybody catch his directions?
Who's going first? Ekon?
Yeah, Ekon was in the back, so he's going first.
You do not arrive back in the smoking car.
Oh no.
Gonna go ahead and erase.
Okay, so it doesn't. Going out one car doesn't lead you back necessarily to the one that you came from. I think there's probably
Ekon,
a pattern, but it's
As
not
soon as
linear.
you step into this car, you hear the sound of metal scraping on metal. And you're actually like here. You're just outside. You've opened the door. And you hear the sound of metal swiftly scraping on metal. And a sword appears across the doorway of the carriage, held by a slender woman's hand. And she peers out the door. And you can see that she's quite advanced in age. Her face is very stern and humorless, and she has tight black hair pulled across the back of her head. She's wearing plate armor. She says, "That's far enough. Who are you?"
Dining car?
And you see her eyes
on
get
out.
wide for a moment. "You're alive."
Yes, I am.
And
Step
she
inside. My
Pulls
friends
the
are with
sword
me too.
away and bids you entrance. As you enter, there's a second person sitting at the bar further on into the car. Looks over. So this woman in the corner has sheathed her blade. There's a second person sitting at the bar, and at first glance, you think this is the most enormous man I've ever seen. But after a moment, you realize it's a second woman. And like Ekon is a tall guy, right? Like he's got a lot of bulk to him because he wears plate armor. This woman,
He's real thin, but yeah.
well, but he looks bulky because he's got plate armor. This woman has Ekon's bolt, but it's pure muscle. And she's also rocking the world's greatest mullet as she stands up, looks across the room. She smiles broadly. Says, well, all right, now it's a party. Maybe we can get some service in here. And she bangs on the bar.
I can't help but that you said that we're alive.
The woman.
So are you alive?
They're definitely not dead. The woman at the door who first confronted Ekon, she sheathed her blade. You'll have to forgive my companion. She has a coarse manner of speaking. So
I've heard worse.
Evie can relate.
I am Periwinkle, Dame of Deloam. Who might you be?
My name is Athar Ekon of Air. And this is my cousin Evie, the Duchess of New Warren.
I'm Jeannie.
His brother Edmont.
Victor yells out from next to the other woman, Vincent, and your hair is amazing. It turns his attention to the larger woman.
As she laughs, she introduces herself as Renee. She says, and I'll tell you what, I'm hungry as all get out, and I can't get any goddamn service. She continues banging on the bar. Periwinkle motions towards the back end of the car, where a third woman you didn't see before is sitting in the shadows. And this is our third companion, Silhouette. The third woman is...
She's really hidden because we can't even see her.
Is that better? The third woman is wearing... dressed all in black and sitting in the darkest part of the carriage. And she has a mask covering her face. And with her right hand reaching down next to her, you see that she's silently stroking the ear of the largest black poodle you've ever seen.
We found Interceptor.
Is this the dining car?
No. It's Sabin, Cyan, and Shadow.
Well, yes, obviously.
Obviously.
To the question, is this the dining car? Renee shouts out. So, seems like she's shouting out towards this door. Says, perhaps it would be if we could get some service.
Jeannie, didn't the train say there'd be people here to serve us?
Yeah, I don't think this is the dining car. This looks more like a bar.
Renee admits that
Oh, no,
her first
I'm up here.
inclination was to hop the bar and help herself to a drink, but Periwinkle said that would be rude.
Wait, there's alcohol here?
Oh yeah, no, it's a well-stocked bar. It's covered in
Victor.
dust and cobwebs and whatnot.
Victor hops over the bar.
And Periwinkle steps forward like she's about to say something, but then doesn't.
Fine.
Who's
sorry.
thirsty?
Renee seems to like this plan, whatever Victor's doing next. Jeannie,
Yep.
when you get to this point, the poodle starts growling at you and showing her teeth. You hear the voice behind the mask say, "Be careful, the dog eats strangers."
Hold on, I have to recover from that.
Gonna need a second.
You got any decent reds there, Victor?
Yeah, it's
Are there
well
any decent
stocked.
reds?
I mean, it's impossible to say because you can't read any of the lettering on any of the labels.
Does anything look like a wine bottle?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Good. So Victor will find a wine bottle that looks like it has something dark inside of it and hand it to Ekon.
When you turn out the wine bottle, Renee slaps the bar and says, "Boo! Something stronger. Are you a man or are you a mouse?"
He's a
I
priest.
mean, I just happen to have a refined taste. That's all.
He's a priest. Whatever looks like a bottle that would contain a strong liquor from where we're from, Victor will grab that and put it in front of Renee.
Yeah, you find it what looks like an amber-colored fluid.
Try this.
I
It
think,
sticks
I
to
think,
the
tag of a bottle.
I think that the poodle is super invisible right now.
Yeah, there's something
Oh,
right
sorry.
here that like it's
There we go. There she is.
Evie,
Yes.
Such a
as
good
they're
dog.
arguing about liquor and as Genie is antagonizing Silhouette's dog,
Uh-huh.
Periwinkle takes the seat next to you.
Mhm.
How long has it been since you boarded the train? Do you know?
How long has it been? Less than an hour, I assume.
You guys, yeah, you woke up probably about not quite an hour ago, yeah.
Only about an hour ago. How long have you been on?
She shakes her head. It's been going on 3 days. There are dead things in all the cars, and
We noticed.
conversing with them, well, she puts her hand on the hilt of her sword. To which Renee responds, and the cats! Don't forget about the cats! Periwinkle nods. Yes, and cats as well.
Where did you get on from?
At this, you see a pained expression on Periwinkle's face. Well, we were just outside of the borders of Deloam.
Oh, that's not a place we recognize.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
we were in Darkon. Are you familiar with that?
Periwinkle shakes her head. Says, no, but if this train is what I think it is, I believe it traverses all kingdoms in all worlds. Renee, again,
Wait, what?
just puts her head in her hands. Oh, God, here we go again.
Ekon will leave his wine glass at the table. I'm sorry, you said all worlds?
Periwinkle explains that she believes this is none other than the Phantom Train, which is the train that takes the spirits of the recently departed to the other side.
What's a train?
At this, Renee just lets out a loud guffaw. What are you lot, bumpkins? Of course it's a train.
Other side?
I mean, maybe it's like. I guess it's not too dissimilar from a train of wagons proceeding in a line.
No, a wagon train is definitely a thing. Yeah.
What's its power source?
It's yeah, something else is driving this thing though. Much greater speeds than an ox could drag a cart though.
I mean, in our homeland we had steam engines, but nothing capable of speeds like this.
Renee explains that she doesn't know much about the inner workings of them, but she does
She
have a
doesn't know
sister.
machines.
She does have a sister back home that builds
Yeah,
steam
I'm sure she
engines
does.
as a matter of course. So she's
She's a-
familiar with the devices.
Oh yeah, my sister's also really into devices.
And to which Renee looks at you, then back at Jeannie. So you two twins?
Yeah. Are you and your sister twins?
What an amazing coincidence!
Uh-huh.
Dead now. You've killed me, Brick Road.
So wait,
Except
this
except
train
this,
has to go to Fernisco. We could go home.
We
Yeah,
don't
but we
have
don't have
Tinny and
Tinny.
Luberton with us.
well,
Yeah, we
Or
don't
the-
have
or
any
the
of our
Emersons.
family.
Renee,
Yeah.
when you say other side, do you mean
I
dead?
don't believe any of that nonsense. Periwinkle's been talking this mumbo jumbo since we got aboard the train, and I grant you, it is a little strange, and it is full of dead things.
did you?
Edmont, if this train goes to the other side, we could save them.
No.
Save who?
All of them.
All of. Anyway, while Victor's over here having a mental breakdown.
When Victor says that, Periwinkle suddenly collapses into the seat next to her,
Oh,
next
no.
to Evie. She shakes her head sadly and says, "You can't. I've tried."
But
I'll console her
Yes,
for her
okay.
loss of her husband and her daughter.
Her son and grandson,
Really?
actually.
Okay. Okay.
what do you mean you can't? You said it goes to the other side, right? Why can't we just get off there and bring them back?
And she just shakes her head sadly. It can't be done.
Who are you going to save, Victor?
Janice!
Denny!
Jenny! All of the people for the party!
I don't
Edmont.
think they're on this train.
Slide my glass back over here.
Anyway, so
My parents, god damn it! Victor slams the bottle on their table.
so Silhouette it is, right?
Mhm.
What is have you guys figured out a pattern on how the cars connect to each other?
You're asking Silhouette?
Yeah.
And Silhouette doesn't respond. She just continues stroking behind her dog's ear. She shifts her weight in her chair just enough to let you know that she heard your question.
All right. I'll take that as a no. Hey.
So do you think there's a way off the train? And Ekon will telekinetically bring his glass across the bar and sip the wine.
And Renee lifts up her glass and lets yours travel underneath it. And before an answer occurs, the back panel of the room opens up, and 2 zombies enter, each one carrying a large tray of food.
Oh,
To which Renee calls out, "Now we're talking! Finally!" The zombies move through Jeannie's threat range
I'll squeeze up against the wall to make room.
and into Edmond's threat range.
okay.
And then around this side of the table. And
What does
each
the
of
food
them
look like?
places 2 large platters of food. They look like party foods, finger foods. Little cucumber sandwiches, dollops of some kind of cream, chopped bits of vegetables and spiced meat. It smells edible. They're being carried by zombies that smell extremely dead. But as long as nobody does anything after they set down the trays, the zombies leave the room once again.
Edmont plucks up one of the cucumber sandwiches.
Wait a minute, Periwinkle says from the other side of the bar. Are you sure that's safe to eat?
I mean,
You with Periwinkle on this one. How do we know this isn't some sort of weird illusion to cover fungus?
Only one way to find
Yeah,
out,
not to-
says Renee.
Edmont splits the bread to look inside of the cucumbers.
Yeah, and it looks perfectly edible.
Victor will try and see if one of the sandwiches is magical.
None of the food is magical. And Renee is immediately starting to
Treble.
gobble it down.
Snarf. Snap.
Well, as much as I'd like to stay here and get drunk like everyone else, I kind of feel like we need to look for a way to stop this train.
Well, does anybody know anything about the power source of this train? What have you guys figured out?
Renee insists that it must be a steam engine. Periwinkle insists that it's a supernatural force driving the train to the other side. And you get the sense that they've been disagreeing about this for several days now.
Well, if it's
You
a
know-
steam engine, I can probably stop it.
And if it's a
So-
supernatural force, I can probably stop it.
But
And if it's neither of those things, then trust me,
Well,
these
for the
guys will
third
figure out a way
plan.
to break it.
Jeannie, you already said it was intelligent, right? You
Right.
communicated with it.
Yes, it was not very friendly.
But that means it's probably not a steam engine if it talks to you. Do steam engines talk to you?
I mean, the locomotive force could be a steam engine, but there's any great number of reasons why the actual train could be sentient. I mean, it could just be haunted. It could be a haunted steam engine. I don't know.
Your heart doesn't talk to you, and yet it still keeps blood running to your lips.
Periwinkle pipes up.
Well, not in Jeannie's case.
She says that if you all have an idea of how to stop the train, that she and her companions would be happy to assist you. But she thinks it's better not to split up in this place. Because as you've already noticed, every time you walk through a door, you don't know which carriage you'll wind up in.
Well, I think there must be a pattern. We just don't know what it is yet.
There doesn't have to be a pattern. More things in reality are random than...
So, do you just want to pick a direction to walk?
Renee insists that she wants to finish eating before she does anything. She hasn't had a good meal in 3 days.
Yeah, if the three of you haven't eaten in a few days, then you should probably eat.
And if we have eaten...
Edmont slides the platter of foodstuffs over toward Silhouette.
Okay? Yeah, she eventually accepts some from the platter and feeds some to her dog.
And I'll take a run back here to see if I can find like a nice vintage.
It's a well-stocked bar. You can't read any of the labels, but I mean, it's pretty easy to intuit what's a wine and what's a stout.
Yeah.
The red's okay.
I'll take a bottle of what I think looks like a nice red wine, and we'll save that for later.
I mean, If you want, we could just take the whole bar with us.
Do it. Genie, you are brilliant today.
Well, I'll like lean over the bar,
Mhm.
hold my bag open, and say, "Go for it."
Victor will start to fill up Genie's bag.
Renee is delighted by this spectacle. And Periwinkle is shaking her head and looks embarrassed for the both of you.
What? They're
So-
dead.
You never know when a good bottle of alcohol can become in handy.
So if you three are still alive, I presume you can fight.
And Renee makes a fist, smacks it against her chest. Says, "Oh, just you wait." That's a pretty good segue, actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get you to share the character sheets.
So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to post these in the Flumph party chat here.
Uh-huh.
Just because that's a good way for you guys to see them all.
She looks strong enough to suplex a train.
I hope so. We all agree that there's no way we are getting off this train without suplexing it, right? We agree that that has to be how this ends.
So there's the
You're-
first one. There's Renee's stat block.
Renea Girafo.
So I'll give you guys a moment to
that
read
Flaw.
that and then decide which
It's a
of
really
you
good
wants
Flaw.
to play Renee.
Oh, excellent. She does have suplex on her sheet. That's excellent. We're going to make use of that, trust me.
You
Do
guys,
you want to control Renee then?
I'm very happy right now.
Yeah, this is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with all this.
she isn't happy about it.
So just to read through the stat block here, all these characters have an ideal, bond, and flaw. Her ideal, I don't have to be the strongest, but since I am, I might as well rock it. Her bond is I want to fight by my sister's side, but I can't do that from here. And her flaw is, hey, you guys think I could suplex that?
We'll find out.
So Renee has a basic unarmed attack. Whether she hits or misses with it, she can then use a bonus action to make another unarmed attack, like standard monk stuff. She also gets some key points, which can be used to activate her glowing hand cannon or suplex attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And as a bonus action, she has impatient defense. She can spend 1 key point to take the dodge action, but she isn't happy about it. She also has a passive ability called Back Row OK, because she's too awesome to have an 11 AC, so her AC is 13 instead.
If I cast Enlarge on Renee, would she be able to suplex the train?
I guess you'll find out. So, who's taking Renee?
So who's taking? I can keep driving Orson.
Yeah, that's fair. I kind of want to call dibs on Periwinkle.
All right, well, let's get Periwinkle up next.
I mean, Saul, you sounded really excited about Renee.
So here's Periwinkle, Dame of Deloam. Give you guys a moment to read through that. So her ideal is king and country, home and hearth. I have these things no longer and shall not again.
On her backstory.
Her bond is my spirit cannot rest until my people are revenged. Her flaw, beyond the fulfillment of my vows, I am purposeless. And yeah, she has a downer backstory. Periwinkle has a very sad backstory, and she's still kind of going through it, so maybe everyone should try to be super nice to her.
Trying my best not
Okay.
to just like laugh.
Oh, I've long since given up.
So she has her basic attack is 2 standard attacks with her exotic foreign blade. She has some standard fighter stuff. She has Second Wind. She can also activate Second Wind as a reaction when she drops to 0 hit points. And she gets some, what do they give her? Some bonus stuff. If she scores a critical hit on her turn or reduces a creature to 0 hit points, she can make an exotic foreign blade attack against another opponent as a bonus action. She also has the ability to sheath her sword during a combat round that ends her turn and gives her a +2 AC bonus. But while her sword is sheathed, she gains a special reaction that gives her an automatic critical hit. So,
That's actually really cool.
Destil, you were going to take Periwinkle?
Yeah, unless someone else super.
I
into
think
that.
you spoke up first. All right. So third is Silhouette, the mercenary. Her ideal, carry your burdens as I carry mine. Her bond is coin spends. It needn't be more complicated than that. Her flaw, emotion is weakness. She has dark vision, because of course she does. And her deal is she also has a resource like Renee does. She has shuriken points that she can spend to activate some special abilities that she has. She has a water scroll attack that can deal either cold or fire damage, and she can turn somebody invisible for just a moment. So Saul has Renee, and Destil took Periwinkle. Who wants to take Silhouette?
I'll take Silhouette.
All right. Victor, that leaves you with the dog.
Okay.
Wait, no,
Silhouette's poodle.
no, 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 no. What is that? No. How do you even say that?
I don't know what it says, but I know what it means.
Przechwytujący.
That's how you say that.
I want to hear Silhouette say that.
Przechwytujący.
Did you have that? Did you have that loaded up just for when we ask you
Yes,
how do you
he
say
did.
that?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Is that intercept your
Przechwytujący. Silhouette's poodle. Her ideal is we are a pack of two. Her bond is a small pack is still a pack. Her flaw is grr, step back. She can reckless attack on her turn. If she chooses to attack recklessly, it gives her advantage on her attacks, and then all attacks against her have advantage until the start of her next turn. Once per short rests, actually once per encounter. I think I gave all of these characters once per. Yeah, when she rolls initiative, these characters gain some of their abilities back. So she can make a Constitution saving throw. DC is either 10 or half the damage she just took. So similar to a concentration save. If she passes, she doesn't take any damage from that source. She's got a multi-attack, 2 claws or 1 claw and a bite. The claw can knock somebody prone, so she can claw somebody to knock them prone, then bite them with advantage. She also has a takedown reaction. If a creature targets an ally within 5 feet of her, she can switch places with the ally and then make a claw attack against them immediately.
Can you combine takedown with Will Forever?
Yeah.
Loyal
once.
Forever does not status in action, so.
Just a passive.
Yeah, she can only use it once per encounter. She regains use of it at the end of a rest or when she rolls initiative. So these characters are going to follow your lead after they're done eating lunch. Wherever you would like to explore. They have been on the train a little longer than you. But most of what they've been doing is just killing zombies and feral cats. They found a few helpful cars with people they were able to talk to and give them directions. But every time they received directions, it just sounded to their ears like a wave of static. To the point where they just chanced upon this bar car.
Thing. Can
And
confirm.
we spend an hour here eating lunch and have a rest.
Yeah, you can do that.
So Victor is going to start drawing a map of the train with his cartography and navigation skills.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of map out the cars that you've been in so far.
Yeah.
They also point out that at the point in the day where it feels like they've been traveling for a full day through the cars, on both of the previous days they've been here, they arrived back at a well-furnished sleeping cabin and were able to rest there safely. And they expect the same thing might happen at the end of this, which is their third day.
So
You
they
almost
just
make it to sound like the train is trying to anticipate your needs and fulfill them.
You say this
So-
as you're loading bottles of liquor into Jeannie's.
As they describe, ending up in a sleeping cabinet at the end of each day. Yeah.
As for how to bring the train to a stop, like I said, they've been in disagreement over that, over what can be done on that score. In either case, neither of them had found an engineering car yet.
That's fine. That's fireable.
If anybody wants it, I've got 5 healing from a cure wounds for my house slot before the short rest.
If nobody else wants it, I can take it.
Now, one last thing.
I can also dump 6 on for my Words of Resolve.
Victor is missing 6 hit points right now.
I will give that to Victor then.
One last thing to note. That Renee, Periwinkle, Silhouette, and Presvytujące, I can't pronounce Polish, that's as close as I can get. These are not player characters. These are stat blocks. That means at 0 hit points, they are dead. And do you really want to be the guy that kills one of these characters on the Phantom Train?
It wouldn't be us that killed him. It would be you. So
No, because you're controlling them. It's all your decisions.
You're the one controlling the monsters.
I don't see how you can put this on me.
I mean, it's easy. All of them get a new bonus action called hide, and whenever they enter combat, they just hide.
Jeannie, we're definitely going to need that protector turret.
They are not bards.
No, none of these guys is bards. They are a monk and a rogue and probably a fighter.
That's ninja. That's obviously a ninja.
Yeah, I'll notice that Periwinkle carries a very, exotic-looking blade. I doubt we've seen anything like that in Fernisco.
You have not.
Evie likes swords and knives. She'll ask about it.
And she is a fighter and a capable and loyal knight, but she is neither a smith nor an armorer. So she informs you there are intricate secrets in the craft of making the exquisite blades of Deloam, but the secrets are not. She's not privy to that knowledge.
I guess I'll show her one of my knives, the ones made of wood steel, if she's interested in that sort of thing.
She tells you that she thinks it's very nice, but she very pointedly does not give you her sword to look at in a similar way.
I don't blame her. I wouldn't let someone hold
knife was kind of a botched translation because of the length of the thing anyway. Should have been katana.
She's probably proficient with knives.
So, where should we go?
I mean, it doesn't particularly matter. So we're all kind of in agreement that what we're actually looking for is a engineering car.
Some sort of engine, I guess. You'll know it when you see it.
So
That
I guess
makes sense to me. If everybody else wants to go ahead, I'll cover the back.
Let's go this way.
Renee thinks it's hilarious that none of you you really don't know what a train is. But yeah, she tells you at the front of the train there would be a locomotive that has some power source, almost certainly a steam engine, but that is strong enough to pull all of the carriages along the track.
well,
What's a track
As I could
made
tell,
of?
it seemed like it went forever in both directions.
I have a crazy idea. All these cars are connected, right? So what happens if we undo one of the connections?
They haven't tried that. Ekon asks what the track is made of. And when you hear Renee's answer, it becomes apparent to you why this technology does not exist in Fernisco. Because she describes miles and miles and miles of steel rail that these carriages travel on. It's not like a horse-drawn carriage or a wagon train which can travel along a road. The tracks would have to be fixed in place over miles and miles and miles of countryside. And that's just not an endeavor that anyone in the Republic has the motivation or the political clout or the wealth to even start putting together.
That would have to be the government, pooling aside a lot of resources.
You'd have to get a lot of wealthy houses in a lot of provinces throughout the Republic, all to point in the same direction on this endeavor, and that's just not a thing that's in the cards.
I mean, plus there's a lot of rivers in Fernisco, isn't there?
Yeah, you'd have to build bridges, and the individual tasks of engineering would not be beyond people of the guilds that Jeannie studied at, but
Just the raw materials needed to do so makes it pretty
No, I mean from the sense that I'm like, oh, okay. Well, if this makes sense, we have a lot of rivers where we're from, so we use river boats for the transportation of this. So, and we have steamships. We have steam engines that drive those ships. In a similar
You're
fashion.
going way faster than any riverboat I've ever been on.
You are.
Indeed.
I mean, the steamboats were.
Think about getting from Old Warren to the capital in a day.
Yeah, I mean, the steam engines were like relatively new inventions in Fernisco, weren't they?
They had been around for a while. The steam engines don't have any practical use
Right.
that they've found. Anything that a steam engine can do can also be done by like Artificer's magic. So they're seen as like the steamboat you guys were on was that really posh gambling ship. They're like a high-end, severe luxury, like just showing off the intricate machinery that I can afford kind of thing.
Well, all I know, Ekon, is that if we ever get back to Fernisco, I can. I've got tangible proof that they pretty much gave up on steam engines a little bit too quickly.
Where are we going to get enough steel to put this much railing across Fernisco?
Why don't we worry about Fernisco when we get off the train?
Agreed.
So
I
Victor,
mean, that sounds like a great reason to expand our mining operations back home, Evie.
Victor opens the door.
Think of the markets we would have if they needed that much steel.
one of you has
You
suggested
can't mine steel.
detaching one of the carts from another. Victor, make a perception check.
That would be a 21.
21. Looking down at the walkway, you do see fixtures attaching the walkway to your side of the car and similar fixtures on the other side. Maybe between like 8 and a dozen of them alongside that look like heavy bolts that would require a special kind of tool to remove. But the fixture doesn't look strong enough to hold one of the cars to the other. So you're imagining a second, sturdier fixture in place underneath. It could be decoupled, but it would take a lot of work, and you don't have any of the proper tools to do it.
What if we hit it with a fireball of some sort?
What if you hit it with a fireball of some sort?
No, Ekon, do not shoot a fireball. No.
Which way is the wind is? When I open the door, the wind is blowing towards us.
Yes, every time you go out the left side of a train car, you're heading towards the front of the train. When you go to the right of the train car, you're headed towards the back.
Have the three of you been on top of the roof yet? The roofs of the cars?
At that, Periwinkle and Renee exchange a terse glance. Periwinkle nods, says, "I don't recommend it."
Has it become day over the amount of time that you've traveled?
It has not.
Has the moon moved?
It has not. In fact, at that question, you see Renee kind of look sheepishly for a moment, turn away in anger. Periwinkle explains that Renee doesn't quite understand why I would take note of these things, but I have been watching the moon. She insisted that nobody would ask me the thing that you just asked.
So she lost a bet.
Periwinkle has too much honor to place bets on such things. Gambling is beneath her.
Well, why don't we go this way? And Jeannie, do you want to disconnect the car and see what happens?
No.
So these 4 characters are party members. You guys can do with them what you will. You can send them out first. You can have them bring up the rear.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
you
say
can go out first.
to Renee, Renee, I think you're going to fit in with this group just fine. They
Oh.
have the exact same mentality you do.
What? I have to know. Why would you not recommend getting on the roof? What happened?
The story goes, after they realized that the cars were not connecting in a linear fashion, the car that they left from was not necessarily the car that they entered when they turned back around. Renee had the brilliant idea to climb aboard the car and try to reach the top of the train that way. When they did, they jumped from car to car in a feat of athleticism that quite nearly left them splattered on the track below. And after a few moments, the zombies caught up to them up there, and they were already aggressive. Fighting on top of the car is one of the most harrowing experiences Periwinkle says she's ever had.
So,
All right.
so hear me
Oh,
out.
bad idea.
If we're trying to get to the front of the car, and we know the cars are not connected linearly, then if we disconnect all the cars behind us, we probably won't have to worry about going back to those. And so eventually we'll get to the front of the car if we just keep shortening the number of cars.
Renee crosses her arms, and she insists that that's a sound logic as far as she's concerned.
I don't think we should open with that.
Yeah, that's plan. We'll call that Plan E. And then I'll whisper. I'll whisper to Silhouette. Victor dies in Plan D.
Silhouette gives no response.
You're easy to talk to. I like you.
All right, Evie is going to give Renee 15 temporary hit points. Say, and like she's pumping her up. Like, okay, you're ready to get out there and kick some ass, right?
Yeah, she's well fed. She just had a bunch of cucumber sandwiches. She's good to go.
Okay.
All right, I think we should just march on to the next one.
All right.
Yep.
Victor's walking.
Okay. I like this one. Victor, you cross to the next cart, open the panel door. And again, this
hell
one,
no.
similar to the cannon carriage you saw earlier. This one, the floors are these bolted and welded metal plates. Alongside each of the walls here, connected to some sort of apparatus in either wall. To your eyes, it at first looked like suits of armor, humanoids, hanging there. They're metal, and they have blank, dead eyes, and seem hollow. And they're hanging by this apparatus in such a way that their feet are not actually touching the floor.
Oh my god, Jeannie, you have to see this.
Huh? I guess we'll I'll just troop into the room.
Okay?
Look at this, like, it's armor. It's
Yep.
beautifully curated armor.
Evie walks in here and just goes full Sigourney Weaver. Like, why does this room exist? This room should not exist.
I don't think this is armor.
And
Detect
looking at
magic.
it, detect magic, you do not detect any magic. I mean, no more than the ambient magic of the train.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm guessing this is a larger bay door.
Jeannie, looking at it for a moment, if they were suits of armor, you would expect to see seams, like for example around the neck where the helmet connects to the pauldrons, or where the gauntlets would pull over the hands but leave the space of the wrists to allow movement. There are no such seams at all. These are more or less solid pieces of metal. No moving joints that you can tell.
Golems?
It's possible. Do you ask them?
No, I'm just thinking out loud.
Okay.
Is there anything written on them that like distinguishes them from each other?
Looking, you do eventually find what looks like a stamp along each one. It's down near the foot, along the instep of the left foot. And it seems to be like a serial number of some kind. And they, with some you probably don't know enough to read the numbering system, exactly how it works out. But you can tell that they're not sequential.
Is this door on the side open?
There are two large cargo doors on either side of the carriage.
Victor will start to open one of them.
Each one is locked with heavy metal cord.
Is it possible to pick it?
Are you going to attempt to?
I'm going to attempt to.
Okay. Make me a dexterity saving throw.
Hey, I think I might have passed.
What'd you get?
25.
10 points of lightning damage, which you can cut in half because you passed. As you get your thieves' tools out, you start picking the keyhole on the lock, holding the two lengths of cord together. Electricity shoots outward, out through your tools, up your arms.
Yeah.
Well,
George back.
I don't know what we gained it by getting through these doors anyway.
Victor, what was your plan? What were you trying to do? Tell me.
Renee says, I don't know. He seems like the sort of guy who doesn't really have a plan.
Tell me about it.
Oh, I wasn't condemning him. I think it's a fine trait.
There's a time and a place for it.
If
I'm not
we-
convinced
I,
that this particular room is not the time.
If we get these doors open, we can get a better view of what the outside looks like, as well as what's on the side of the train. And if these things come to life, we can shove them outside. So I think it's a fine plan.
Can I, using detect magic, kind of think about if this was mirrored across the two sides? Can I find the component of that trap on this side,
To what end?
just to see if it's there?
Yeah, it's taking a few moments. You notice the apparatus inside. But you're not detecting any magic from it.
Huh.
There must be some apparatus inside of the lock that discharges electricity but isn't using magic.
Wait, Jeannie, didn't you know something about electricity that doesn't use magic?
Genie whispers,
Lightning in the wall stuff.
lightning. Yeah, Genie whispers, lightning in the walls. And
This
she
is
starts clapping excitedly.
This must be Aslan's train then.
Renee pipes up. Who's Evelyn?
Scary Wizard King. Anyway,
Scary Wizard King. No, hold on. You can't just say Scary Wizard King. You've heard our story. We should hear yours.
I think this room isn't the right place for it. I just
Nothing
want to
wrong
go
in here.
I just want to go on the record. If one of these things start moving, Evie is not surprised.
Listen. I don't say this often, but Evie might be right in this case.
Really?
What is the mechanism holding these up?
There's an apparatus on the side of each of the walls. It looks like a connected rack with metal hinges or something that the back end of the humanoid shell is slotted into, like you're hanging a coat on a rack.
That kind of will start explaining about their house and their home world as we continue on.
Renee very quickly becomes bored by this explanation, even though she's the one who asked for it. But you tell that Periwinkle is listening politely and intently. One of these two people is retaining this information and the other is not.
I'm gonna go ahead and try the slide this door open to open the cart.
Roll
The
initiative.
next one. Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Why wouldn't
you?
Why wouldn't it be?
Can you
And then
please
the
add some-
meteorites came.
Can you add some tokens over here for our new friends?
Yeah, I will.
Thank you.
All right, that's
You misspelled presbyterianse on this green one.
no, it's spelled right.
No, you spelled it wrong.
No, it looks right to me.
How would you know?
That's, you know what? Oh, sole mio.
There's no white on this one.
There.
So these squares with the humanoids on them, I'm going to say these are walkable squares, but they count as difficult terrain as you're kind of squeezing behind or in between them. Edmont.
Sure.
Bear with me 1 second. As you reach for the panel door to slide it open to continue, you hear just off to your right a sound of scratching against metal, and then a loud screech as what looks like a huge, extremely mean house cat leaps to the top of the fake man. We'll call these fake men. That sounds about right.
At least we don't have any wizards in the party, because those things would fuck up the cat. Those things fuck up a wizard pretty badly.
Only in first and second edition, and in NetHack.
And third.
Delete the wizard completely.
Okay, so let me go down the list here. So Renee is surprised. Evie is surprised. Edmont
Not
is
surprised. I have been waiting for something to jump out and kill us this whole time.
That was the whole reason I tried to open
You're
it.
watching the metal men though.
Yeah, not the cats.
You're watching the wrong thing.
All right.
He did warn us about the cats, though.
Edmont.
Sir.
Oh, here. Let me type out their hit points so I can. If I don't do this, you guys can't damage these creatures.
Oh, with our rolls, we can't damage them anyway. Don't worry.
Edmont, I've got a 16 to hit.
That hits.
Does that beat your AC by 5?
Does not.
Hold on. Can I take a reaction while I'm surprised?
No. Not unless you've had
Never
your
mind.
turn already.
So what you're saying is Edmund's caught in a pincer attack.
Edmont,
Sir.
3 points of slashing damage as the cat slashes out at you.
Uh-huh.
The second one that came from behind you, I have a 20 to hit.
Yes.
Does that beat your AC by 5?
Sure does.
It does. Okay. 12 points of slashing damage. As that cat scratch felt like it was 4 times more painful than the first one.
No. All right. I'll see you guys later.
He's out. He's out. He can't do it anymore.
Orson. I have a 23 to hit.
Oh, no.
That does not cat scratch him.
That does hit, but it's not 5 more than his AC.
6 points of slashing damage from the third cat. So yeah, Edmund, you step forward, and you go to reach for the door, and you hear this screech off to your right, and these scrabbling sounds as these cats leap to the top of these fake men and start slashing out at you. Renee, in the back of the carriage, here we go again with the goddamn cats.
You're not kidding about that, Renee.
So everybody's surprised all the way down the lists, all the way back up to Renee at the top.
All right, so Renee sees these cats and it just goes into a frenzy. Like, she's got to kill it. 5, 10, 15, 25, 35. And she's just going to punch this cat.
Okay. Yeah, so she's squeezing in between these two fake men here?
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Just need to make sure I'm using the right bonus. I suddenly have to play a new character. That's a 10.
A 10 does not hit.
AC of Zamba.
Okay, well, she used this bonus action to attack again. How about an 11?
11 will not hit.
Okay.
Near done that AC.
Okay, I guess that's the end of her turn. She was very enthusiastic.
Should have suplexed it.
All right, who's next?
Next up is Evie with Edmont on deck.
5, 10, 15, 20. I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to attempt to throw a knife at this cat.
Okay.
And maybe I will roll well this time. Okay. No, I did not. That's a 9.
9 does not hit.
My 10 didn't hit, so sorry.
Okay, well, I'll try offhanding. Okay, this one's a lot better. How about a 25?
25 will hit.
Do I do 4 times as much damage because I beat their AC by 5?
Why would you?
It was worth a try.
Sounds like the kind of thing that should be in your character sheet.
Yeah. If I jump on the cat's back and spend some time with it.
It's not that large.
Okay.
You don't.
15 magical piercing to that cat.
That's enough. As you magically pierce this cat, and it lets out a death howl. And it's...
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I don't add my modifier. It's only 11.
Oh, then it's bloodied but not dead.
Okay. Evie's too honest. That's the end of my turn.
Who's next?
We've got Edmont with cats on deck.
Yeah, let me go ahead and take a swing at this cat.
Okay.
How does a 12 do?
12 will hit.
We figured out its AC.
Inching up there.
Every time you tell me that you deduce a monster's AC, all monsters for the rest of the campaign get +1 AC.
So what you're saying is if I had rolled anything above a 2, I would have hit.
It's 7 points of bludgeoning damage to the cat.
Okay,
I'll take a second swing at it.
sure.
That's a 14 to hit.
14 will hit.
Full. For 8 points bludgeoning damage.
And it is bloodied.
Let's go ahead and no, key point dodge, because I don't like getting hit by these things.
Okay. I can't imagine why.
Got stray cats with Victor on deck.
Okay. Yeah, let's keep clawing at Edmont standing here.
Or Edmund.
Disadvantage this time.
Actually, this one... Oh, no, because Renee's in that square. Okay, that one can't move. Yeah, let's just attack all the same people as I did previously. Edmont's. I have a
Sir.
6 to hit.
No.
Edmont's.
Sir.
I have a nat 1.
Let me check my thing on. Let me do the math real quick.
Orson, I have a 17.
No.
No.
No. So all 3 cats, Edmont just dances out of the way, dodging where he do. And the third one, the scratch ineffectually glances off of his armor. Who's next?
Why are we in the mountains all of a sudden?
Got Victor with Orson on deck.
Well, as much of a cat person as Victor is,
These cats have tried to eat me twice.
which two cats are bloodied?
The one nearest to Edmont, and then the one nearest to Orson.
Okay. So Victor is going to steady aim, and he's going to hit the cat in the middle.
Okay.
Does a 20 hit?
It does.
Please enjoy 22 points of sonic damage.
That's enough. That cat's brain explodes in its skull. And moves no more. And its dead body just slides off to the floor and lands with a thump. And you can't move. Is that correct? Because you're steady aim.
That is correct.
All right. Who's next?
We've got Orson with Genie on deck.
Orson, fix it.
All right. This one,
Okay.
attack number 1, is a crit.
Can Orson do less than 4 damage with a critical hit?
No, he can't do less than 4 damage with a regular hit. But for the reference, that was 16 points of damage.
Yeah, that's enough for the second cat.
All right. Steps forward. Second hit is a 26.
That'll hit. Can he do less than 1 point of damage?
That is 9 points of damage.
And that one's dead.
And then he's got nobody to hit with the butt.
Get ahead, Edmont.
From the back of the train, Periwinkle sheathes her blade. So that was well fought. Renee scoffs.
Those
Don't
cats
regret-
are no joke.
Don't congratulate them yet. Those weren't even the big ones.
Oh,
Big
God.
ones.
The big ones.
Oh, they get bigger.
Thank you,
How much
Renee.
bigger?
Renee holds her hand out like, oh, yay big.
Huh.
Anyway,
Edmont tries to slide the door open this time.
Yeah, you see a familiar sight outside. There's about a 15-foot track.
Cross the
Walkway.
gap to the next car.
So we don't want anything to do with these.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Okay, let me roll something on my end.
We do lots of stupid stuff. Screwing around with the metal hanging him in is not going to be one of them.
Edmont, you open the door and you find you're looking into the surgery from the other side.
Son of a bee sting.
son of a submariner.
Renee's always heard as son of a sandworm.
Well, she's wrong.
Son of a subtrainer.
However, Renee and Periwinkle, and I guess Silhouette too, but it's hard to get a read on her because she's wearing a mask. You can't see her face. But they look like, as they enter this car, they look like they're entering it for the first time. They have not seen inside this carriage before.
This is where we woke up. Near as I can tell.
What do you mean woke up?
In fact, yeah. Are the curtains still displaced from when I opened them?
No.
Are the bloody bandages still there?
Yep, they're still there. But the curtains that you drew earlier and didn't replace are now pulled shut again. And the windows that you guys had scraped off to look outside of are, again, dingy and grimy.
Victor will go and move some of the bloody medicine to a different bed.
That's
the
gross.
first bed.
Yeah, we jumped onto the train from a cliff as was passing underneath, and then we all woke up here.
Renee says that's much more exciting than how they boarded. They simply found the train stopped at the station.
Wait, we jumped off a cliff? I don't remember that.
Yeah, you did.
What? Victor stopped with his hand on the door, turned around. No, what,
I just
that
noticed.
crazy?
Whoosh.
Brick, can I rename Periwinkle's attacks?
I guess, if you want.
What, to what?
I'll be honest. I try it a few times to word them in a way that would match Bushido attacks, but then I remembered that system sucks and isn't fun, so then I stopped trying that.
No, it's that in the original release of Final Fantasy VI, and only in that release in Japan, you can rename the Bushido attacks.
Oh,
For no reason.
Really?
Wait,
just because
can
it's
you?
cool. Yeah.
That's weird.
But they didn't want to make it work with the English text system.
learn something new every day.
I never knew that. Yeah.
So if we pass through this car, when we went through here the first time, or did we? No, we didn't. Travel.
No, we didn't go through this side yet.
We haven't gone that way, yeah.
No, maybe not. I don't know. This is.
Well, if everything.
I think. I mean, we can tell which side is which. Oh, yeah, because of the way the trains move.
Hey, I'm gonna reach into my bag of holding and try to pull out one of the bottles of alcohol from we swiped from the bar.
Yeah, it's in there. You pull it out.
I'll shake
Thirsty
it.
already, Genie?
No, I'll put it back in. No,
Those cats weren't that bad.
Genie doesn't drink. Not since that one time.
We don't talk about that one time.
Anyway, no, I was just saying like this room is obviously reset, right?
Mhm.
So if we find the bar again, does that mean we'll find more alcohol? That's interesting.
If we find this
disgusting.
room again, it's not that reset because there's another Genie in here with another bag of holding.
If we find another Genie with another bag of holding, I'm going to murder her and take her bag of holding
Victor
because there
opens
can
door
only
up
be
a
one
little bit.
Genie. That would be terrifying.
If you find another Eevee, it's already too late.
Victor goes
Yeah,
through
yeah.
as they debate this
Yeah,
existential
onward.
crisis.
So Victor's leaving out the other door.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh boy.
This room is just full of treasure, right?
Victor,
Just full of treasure, like
Treble,
magic items.
what exactly is it you're asking me?
I'm not asking. I'm sorry. This place is freaking me out a little bit.
It's freaking you out because you want the room to be full of treasure?
Yeah,
How likely do you think that is?
0%.
Have you even been paying attention?
0%. We don't
No,
get nice
it's-
things.
It's
Victor.
100% that Victor's going to burn it.
Oh, my lens of truth is not working.
Try this one.
You did reload this table.
There we go. Victor, heading across and sliding the panel door open on this room, it's a solid metal wall on the other side.
The hell?
And you hear Renee say behind you, "Up there." Looking up, the car does not have the standard roof that you're accustomed to seeing. Instead, it looks like the car is open to the sky above, but does not have doors on either side like the standard cars do.
Can I peek around the wall?
I mean, you'd have to climb up to the top of the car to look inside of it.
How high up is it?
10 or 12 feet.
Are there
Hey.
handholds or?
Can I give you a boost up there?
There's not handholds, but Victor could shimmy up and stand on the banister.
Yeah, give me a boost.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a boost.
The train car is filled with gold.
No.
Filled,
Fit of peak, Treble.
rattling gold coins. Treble, I've asked you not to hack onto my laptop and read the Flumph notes before we started playing. Like, it keeps happening, and if it happens again, we're gonna have to have a conversation about it.
Listen, it's not my fault that I'm basically the Simpsons.
Victor looks over at Edmont and says, We've done it. And then he jumps into the gold.
Jumps into the gold.
No,
Yeah.
don't do that. No.
I mean, you land flat on top of it because it's not friggin' DuckTales logic. Landing on the coins, though, they feel like metal coins. But you would expect metal coins, especially considering the chill in the air, not to be very warm to the touch. And certainly not so warm that you can feel them through your clothing. And that's when you realize that the places on your body where you flopped into the coins, the bare parts of your hands or the side of your face or whatever, is starting to burn in contact with the metal.
People stand up.
You get to your feet and try to catch your footing, and catching your footing is extremely difficult because you now do not have solid ground beneath you, and the jostling of the train is whipping every which way.
How high is the roof above where he's standing?
I mean, you're probably standing, like your waist and everything above is breaching the top of the wall. So you can actually reach over and grab the top of the cart to steady yourself. as you
Yeah.
traverse these
Is this like
coins.
an open cart?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like a coal cart.
Yes.
I'll
Except
call
it's
back
not
to
coal, it's
Periwinkle
coins.
Victor
I'll
will
call
throw
back
down
to-
a rope to Edmont.
Go ahead.
I'll catch the rope and call back to Periwinkle. Hey, you said how we shouldn't be running along top the carts. I think we're gonna have to do that.
She nods. She's ready to do
No.
what needs to be done.
Climb the rope.
The
Careful, it's hot.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Jeannie is going to like put her hand against the side to steady herself so she doesn't fall face first into the hot. So, is this gold magical?
Are you taking a minute to examine it with your arcana?
Yeah, sure.
The gold itself is not magical, but you sense a sort of elemental magic dispersed amongst it and underneath it.
Genie, is there a monster under here?
I think so.
God damn it!
Is
Why
it
can't we just have
is it
nice things?
possible to, with the rope, climb up and then jump back onto the one behind us, the roof of this cart, just to have a better view of the thing?
Yeah, you could. Let me get my... I have prepared for this
Oh.
eventuality. Ah, that one doesn't work. Ah, this one works.
I've got 5 strength, so it's more than 5 feet. Oh, I guess I won't, but
So, yeah, climbing up to the previous cart, the one you just came out of, the surgery, you've got a roof map here, and it is, of course, connected to the roof behind it.
okay, yeah. Ekon's going to be on the roof of the previous one just to get a better view of the situation because it looks pretty crowded up there.
Okay. So, Orson, Edmont, Jeannie, and Periwinkle have climbed up on top of the gold with Victor. We have Renee and Evie standing down in the car, and then we have got Silhouette and Prejfetuyance still in the previous
Right.
car. Is that correct?
I think Silhouette's gonna pick up the dog. And
Silhouette's not
kick
going to
the
pick
dog.
up that dog.
The dog can't climb a rope.
Have you tried? Do you want Silhouette and the dog to climb the rope?
Yeah.
You hear a Silhouette, you hear a melodious whistle from behind her mask, and that dog expertly climbs the rope and gets to the top. It hops into the
Good
gold car.
dog.
Is
I'll bet Victor feels dumb now, doesn't he?
A little bit, yeah. But his intelligence is only 10, so it's not like it's crazy for him to expect the dog not climb a rope.
Okay, so Evie climbs. She's on the edge here. And it's like this is the most suspicious thing that she has ever seen in her life.
Something's gonna jump out of the middle. Just
Ekon is going to 5, 10. Ekon's going to try and telekinetically grab one of the coins about this far out.
Victor's gonna
Brings
hold down
it
the
up out of
wall
the
when he
bed.
does that.
Is that with Mage Hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, you reach out, you pick up one of the coins.
Well, they're not magic.
I,
And I'll
yeah.
flip it and let it drop back into the bed.
It does.
Victor, holding onto the wall, is going to tell everybody to brace themselves,
Yeah.
and then he is going to pull out the flask of endless water. And he's going to open it,
Okay.
and he's going to direct the fire hose towards the other end of the cart over here.
And it kicks up a huge burst and cloud of steam as the heat of the metal instantly vaporizes some measure of the water. And you hear the sound of the sloshing water that doesn't get vaporized trickle down. And you also kick up no small amount of the gold coins that get battered against the back of the wall. Some of them get thrown overboard. Some of them bounce off the wall. Some of them get caught in the wind. And so each of you gets a minor faceful of coins that have been kicked up by this fire hose.
Mont looks to Victor and says, well, I mean, if nothing else, if we find the steam engine, we got a pretty good way to shut it down, I feel.
Did that extinguish the elemental power in the?
No, it did not.
So after putting some water on there and making sure it's wet, he'll turn it off and see if the water steams away.
Like, do we know if this is actually real gold coins, or is this some kind of horrific, like, gold mimic elemental thing?
You have no idea. Looks like real gold.
They're not
It's a
magical, and they
coin.
are, at least some of them are individual.
No, you know what? I have a perfect idea. I cast Locate Object
Okay.
to locate gold coins.
There's one right here, right in front of you.
These are all gold coins. They're all real gold.
Victor grabs a handful and pockets them.
I mean, they're hot to the touch, but it's not gonna leave burns on your hands. It's
So do they
it's like pulling a fork out of a dishwasher that just stopped.
Do they cool down after Victor holds them for a while?
When you hold them in your hand, yeah, you feel the heat dissipate into your body. Actually, it's relatively pleasant because when you're standing up at your full height, you're in the chill of the air and the wind, and it's kind of nice holding a piece of hot metal.
Does it seem like the same temperature that a giant pile of gold would be if it was sitting in the sun all day?
It would have to be a really, really hot day.
What's the countryside
Or
look
sit in
like as
Genie.
we're outside?